Mrs. Show. Today we're going to learn how to solve a system of equations by using elimination. This is my favorite method. I think you're really going to like this. So you need your notebook out and label this 5-3. So we have learned how to solve a system of equations by graphing. Think about, what do the lines look like when you solve a system of equations and there's one solution? What do the lines look like if you solve by graphing and there's one solution? Yes, they're intersecting. They cross in one point. What do the lines look like when there are no solutions to the system? They are parallel. They have no points in common. What do the lines look like when there are infinitely many solutions? They're the same line. Good. All right. So today we're going to use elimination. When we use elimination, what we're going to do is make the coefficients for x or y opposites. Then we're going to add the two equations to eliminate one variable. All right. So in your notebook, write down number 1, negative 3x plus 4y equals 12. And 3x minus 6y equals 18. This is a system of equations we're going to solve by using elimination. Okay, so our first step is to make sure the coefficients for x or y are opposites. Well, I'm noticing that I have a negative 3x and a positive 3x. The coefficients for x are already opposites. So now what I'm going to do is add the two equations together. So when I add negative 3x and positive 3x, this cancels and becomes 0. 4y and negative 6y make negative 2y. And 12 plus 18 is 30, right? And now I'm just going to solve for y by dividing by negative 2. And I'll get y equals negative 15. That means the solution to the system has a y value of negative 15. It's something negative 15. To find the x value, what we're going to do is take negative 15 and put it in for y, and it doesn't matter which equation I use. So if I go to the top one and I have negative 3x plus 4 times negative 15 equals 12, let me see, 4 times negative 15 is negative 60. I'm going to add 60 to both sides. I'll get negative 3x equals 72. When I divide by negative 3, that means my x value would be negative 24. You can always check that point by taking negative 24 and putting it in for x, and negative 15 and putting it in for y. If I was checking, I would use the equation, the second one. If I do 3 times negative 24 minus 6 times negative 15, does that equal 18? Well, let's see, 3 times negative 24 is negative 72. Negative 6 times negative 15 is positive 90. If I add negative 72 and positive 90, I do get 18. So you can always check by putting your x and y values in either equation to make sure it's true. It should work in both. All right, look at number 2. Go ahead and write this down. When you get done, hit play. So pause now, write it down. Okay, now that you have it written down, I'm trying to make the coefficients for x or y opposites. Well, I'm noticing I have 4y and 4y, they're the same. So what I could do is take one of the equations and multiply by a negative 1, and then I'll get a negative 4y. So what I'm going to do is take the top equation. Let's take the top equation and multiply by negative 1. So 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. 4y times negative 1 is negative 4y. 28 times negative 1 is negative 28. Then I can add the two equations together. Well, negative 3x and negative 2x make negative 5x. The 4y and negative 4y will cancel. 18 and negative 28 make negative 10. Now I'm just solving for x by dividing by negative 5, right? So I get x equals 2. So my solution is 2 something. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and put in 2 in one of the equations to find y. So I'll use the top one. So I'm going to have a 2 times 2 equals 4y equals 28. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 4y equals 28. Now I need to subtract 4 to get 4y equals 24, and then divide by 4. So I would get y equals 6. I could double check and make sure it works in the second equation. Let me see, if I take 2 and put it in for x here, I would have negative 3 times 2, that would be negative 6. If I take 6 and put it in for y, 6 times 4 is 24. If I add negative 6 and 24, do I get 18? Yes, I do. I know I'm right. All right, look at number 3. Go ahead and pause the video. When you get done, hit play. All right, now that you have this written down, notice the coefficients for A are the same. So what we can do is take one of the equations and multiply it by a negative 1. So I'm just going to take the top one. It really doesn't matter which one I do this to. I'm going to take the top one and multiply by a negative 1 to get negative 13a minus 5b equals positive 11. Then I can add the two equations together. 13a minus 13a cancels, becomes 0. 11b minus 5b is 6b. Okay. And then 7 and 11 make 18. So I'm adding the two quick equations together, and then I'm solving for b. So I'm going to divide by 6. I'll get b equals 3. Notice also we don't have an x and y, we have an a and b. So this always goes alphabetical. So if you have an a and b, your a is really your x value, your b is really your y value. It goes alphabetical. So I know my point is something 3. So what I'm going to do is take 3 and plug it in for b. I'll just use the top one. So I'll have 13a plus 5 times 3 equals negative 11. Well, 5 times 3 is 15. I'm going to take away 15 from both sides. I'll get 13a equals negative 26. Divide by 13, I'll get a equals negative 2. So my solution would be negative 2, 3. All right, pause the video, go ahead and write down number 4. When you get done, hit play. All right, now that you're done, notice on this one, m, the coefficients for m are the same. So what we could do is just take one of the equations and multiply by what? Negative 1, right. So I'm just going to take the top one. It really doesn't matter which one. I'm going to multiply the top one by negative 1 to get negative 2m plus 5m equals 6. Then I'm going to add the two equations together. Well, my m's will cancel. Negative 7n and 5n make negative 2n. Negative 14 and 6 make negative 8. Divide by negative 2. I'll get n to be positive 4. So remember, this goes alphabetical. It's m, n. So n is really my y value. My y value is 4. Now what we're going to do is take 4 and plug it in one of the equations for n. Maybe I'll use the second one this time. It really doesn't matter. So if I do 2m minus 7 times 4 equals negative 14. Let's see, 7 times 4 is 28. Now I'm going to solve for m. I'm going to add 28 to both sides. I'll get 2m equals 14. Divide by 2. It looks like n is 7. So my solution would be 7, 4. All right, look at number 5. Pause the video, write this down. When you're ready to go, hit play. All right, now that you're ready to go, let me see. I'm noticing I have a 2 and a 3 for my coefficients for x, and I have 1y and 2y. So I could take the top equation and multiply by negative 2. Yes, I can take the top one and multiply by negative 2, and then what will happen is I'll have a negative 2y. So if I multiply the top one by negative 2, let's see, do this with me, negative 4x, negative 2y, and 23 times negative 2 is negative 46. Okay, then I'm going to add together. So I know my y's are going to be eliminated. 3x and negative 4x make negative 1x or negative x. 37 and negative 46 make negative 9. Divide by negative 1, I'll get x equals 9. Okay, so I will have 9 something. My x value is 9. Well, now what I'm going to do is take the 9 and plug it in for x in one of the equations. So maybe I'll use the top one. 2 times 9 plus y equals 23. That would be 18 plus y equals 23. Subtract 18 from both sides, I'll get y equals 5. So my solution would be 9, 5. All right, go ahead and pause the video. Write down number 6. When you're ready to go, hit play. All right, so now that you're ready, I'm noticing that my coefficients for x are 4 and 3, and they're not opposites even, and my coefficients for y are 3 and negative 5, they're not opposites. There are lots of ways to do this problem. Can you think of one way? Okay, so let's talk about it. We could eliminate the x or eliminate the y. One way to do this problem is to take the top one and maybe multiply by 3, so I get a 12x, and maybe multiply the bottom one by negative 4, so I get a negative 12x. Or I could try to eliminate my y's. It really doesn't matter. So if I was eliminating my y's, I could try to make one of them a 15y and one of them a negative 15y, so they would be opposites. So let's see, if I take the top equation and multiply by 5, I would get a 15y. What would I have to multiply the bottom equation by? 3, right, because then I get a negative 15y. So let's go ahead and take the top equation and multiply by 5. See, we'll get 20x plus 15y equals 40. Let's take the bottom equation and multiply by 3. 3 times 3x is 9x. Negative 5 times y times 3 is negative 15y. And negative 23 times 3 is negative 69. Now I can add the two equations together and my y's will eliminate. So I'll get a 29x equals negative 29. Divide by 29, and I'll get x equals negative 1. So I know my solution is negative 1 something, all right? So now I need to take negative 1 and plug it in for x in one of the equations. So I'll just use the top one. Let's see, 4 times negative 1 plus 3y equals 8. That'd be negative 4 plus 3y equals 8. Then I would add 4 to both sides. This would cancel. I would get 3y equals 12. Divide by 3, I'm going to get y equals 4. So my solution would be negative 1 4. All right. I think you're ready to try on your own. Pause the video. Try number 7. When you get done, hit play. All right. So there are different ways to do this. Probably the easiest way would be to take the top equation and multiply by a negative 3 so that your x's are eliminated. When I did that, I got y to be 1. When I took 1 and plugged it back in for y in the first equation, I got x to be negative 1. So check your solution. Did you get negative 1, 1? All right, if you're doing okay, we're going to go ahead and go to the next problem. If not, you can pause it and look at my work. You can retry it again. All right, number 8, I want you to try on your own. So pause the video, try to use elimination. When you get done, hit play. All right, now that you're done, one way to do this is take the second equation and multiply by a negative 2 to eliminate your x's. You could have also taken the second equation and multiplied by a negative 4, so your y's would be eliminated. There are different ways to do this. So I got the solution 1, 2. Did you also get 1, 2? All right, I want you to stop the video if you're not getting 1, 2. Check your work, make sure you're understanding. If you're okay, tell me how you're feeling about today's lesson. All right, today you have an exit ticket, so make sure you do your exit ticket. Tomorrow we'll continue working on solving systems by using elimination. Have a good day.